Hello, everyone. We're going to start the final assignment for architectural systems. And we are going to download this building template. We're on Canvas. You have to download this building template Revit file. And then the TDS building, this TDS mechanical project. What we are going to do is to insert this file into that template. In the TDS building file, we have the TDS building, and on this template, we have this building. But the good thing is that if you go to systems in mechanical equipment, here we have a lot of families that have been inserted. Whereas in this file, if we go to insert, to systems, mechanical equipment, we don't have anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to copy this architecture into this template. To do that, we have to make sure that we work in the same view. Okay, so I'm going to do that from the 3D, but I'm going to use the front view. And on this front view, we have level 1. And that level 1 is 0. Here on this one, I go to the same front view. And this is level -15. I think there are more levels here. Yep, I'm going to unhide this element. And I'm going to delete this one and this one. And I'm going to delete this one too. Okay, so all the elements that are connected to the levels are gone. And I'm going to delete the architecture. I can't delete the architecture because I'm in the mechanical discipline. So I'm going to change to the architectural discipline. And let's do this. I think it's important having the same level. Here we have level 0 with the 0 elevation. And here the name is level 1. As long as the elevation is the same, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so now, but it's important that I have the front view and the front view here too. So I'm going to copy, select everything, Control C. Now Control V on the other file. And let's see what happens. Okay, that's what happens. We have here 2 rectangles. There are 2 rectangles, and we have to try to match both. Like this. Now the all the walls and the windows are there, but look at this, I have made something wrong because this is the level -1 divided by 32 inches, 1/32. Okay, so I have to select everything, and then I have to move this until I get the 0 level, because it will be better. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it up. 1 divided by 32 inches. Okay, so now the level is 0. This is the south elevation. This is the 3D view. And make sure that you are in this file building template and close the other file, because now we are going to work with this. We're going to work with this, but in the mechanical discipline. So let's change all these drawings to mechanical. So by default, we have the architectural discipline. Let's change everything to the mechanical discipline. All the elevations, the east elevation is the mechanical discipline, the north it's in the mechanical discipline, the south and the west. Okay, the west is in the architectural, so let's make it mechanical. And let's open all the floor plans. We don't have any floor plan here. We have to go to view, plan views, floor plan, and I don't want the footings, but I want all these. And now let's open the floor plans and make sure that we work always in mechanical disciplines. Level 1, mechanical. Level 2, mechanical. And the same with all the levels. There you go. We can fix this. I don't like that the levels are not aligned. So if I go to level 0, there is something we can do. Let's make all these elevation marks. See where the building is. And I'm going to go to view, scope box. And I'm going to create a scope box like this. That includes everything, the building and the elevation marks. And now on the 3D view, that scope box, I'm going to move it up and down. So everything has to be included on this scope box. And then I can select the levels here, and I can assign those levels to this scope box 1. And now all the levels are aligned, and they are connected to this scope box. So if you make it bigger or smaller, the levels are all related to that scope box. Okay, so now we can start inserting the systems. Here on Canvas, you can download these TDS reflected ceiling plans. So that's the first floor and the second floor. We are going to download both. I'm going to open this with Paint. Okay, so now here we can zoom in or out. And this is the layout. We're going to divide the building into 3 parts. So we have these 3 parts, this this part is where the office spaces are. You remember that the mechanical room is on the roof of this part of the building. This second part is this, and the third part of the building is this, where we have the workshop, the metallic workshop on the first floor, and the big studio on the second floor. You have to, well, I told you what part of the building you have to complete, and this and this is almost the same, but this one is slightly different. So I'm going to show you how to start working with this and working with that. So look at this. This is the first floor. In this side, in this schematic view, the blue lines are the supply, and the red is the return, and then this is the exhaust, this yellow. Okay. So we have to place the diffusers where the supply diffusers and then the return diffusers. It's quite simple. Let's go to the Revit file. Let's go to level 0. That's the first floor. And we can just trace this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 supply diffusers here. So you have to go to Systems, insert the air terminal, insert the supply diffuser, and we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So try to place them in the right position, and there are more diffusers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the same space. Now we have 5, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So I think this can be here, and then we can copy those diffusers here, and we need one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. And the elevation, by default, you know that Revit places the diffusers on the floor. So we have to change the elevation. We can select all the diffusers, and we can change the elevation to 12. Yeah. So if this is the floor slab, yeah, it can be 12. Now the supply diffusers are where it are in the right place. And now we have to start tracing these. So there's the main duct here. It goes this way, and then we can connect all those. So that's what we are going to do on level 0. We don't see this. Why is that? Well, probably there's something we can do. Instead of working with floor plans, we can work with plan views, reflected ceiling plans. So I'm going to work with level 1, with level 0 and level 1 to see what I mean. So that's the reflected ceiling. Here we have the ceiling plans, level 0 and 1. Okay, so I don't know what level. Let's hide this. And that's level 0. And on level 0, you see the diffusers. But I'm going to work with a mechanical discipline because I don't want to select the architecture. I want to select just the diffusers. So let's trace this duct now. We can go to Systems, Ducts. I would use round ducts by default. So this is the, let's change to fine detail. And where is this? the middle elevation by default is 9. Does it make sense? Well, that pipe has to be above the diffuser level. So I think the diffusers were, the elevation to the diffusers was 12. So we have to change that mid elevation at least to 13. Okay, so now they are between this and that. And what about the diameter? By default, we have 12 here. Well, we can look at it. If we are not able to zoom in, we can look at the rest of the document here. So 1 stands for first floor, and 1 to 5 is the grid line. So if we open this 1 to 5, that's the part of the building that we are working with. It's the first floor. Okay. And now here we can see the dimensions. So this is 16 by 6, 16 by 6. This is 24 by 6, 26 by 8. And those are flex ducts, okay? So we can abide by these dimensions. If this is 16 inches by 6 inches, I can, on the 3D view, I can turn this into a rectangular default duct, and the height is 6, and the width is 16. Okay, so now we have this 16 by 6. Then there will be another reduction here, and that will be 24 by 36, and this is 26 by 8. Okay, so I can start with 26 by 8. And now I can start inserting the flex ducts. Okay, so we have here, and then we have a reduction, and then this will be 24 by 6. Let's try to do that. At this point, I draw a duct, I do this. No, it has to be a flex duct. Here. And what do we have? Okay, I have divided this. Unfortunately, I don't have the right fitting for this option. So I'm going to insert duct fitting. This is a round T. No, I want a rectangular T. Okay, let's try this T. Like here. And now probably I can, if I connect this one, here. We use flex duct. It doesn't matter, but if we line it up, it will be easier to connect both elements. So now I'm going to draw flex duct here, and now it should work well. Yep, there you go. Yep. So now the next one is 24 by 6. So that would be 24 by 6. And if we do this, there will be a reduction there. There is no default fitting specified by that. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we don't have a reduction from 8 to 6. So let's make this height 8. And then let's try to do this. And now, well, now it works. And can I change this now to 6? No, doesn't work well. Okay, if you don't find that reduction, then we can keep going. Or it's about inserting the right fitting for that. So I think I'm going to use round ducts. It will be way easier. So if we do the same thing that we were doing before, working with round ducts, like this one. Yeah, that will be better. The only thing, every time we insert something, we have to rotate the T so that we can connect by flex ducts here. Be careful with the system classification. We have this warning. This is supply air, and this is supply. No, this is exhaust. Okay, so when we have this warning, make sure that we change this to the supply, and now all the pipes are supply. So that's it, and now we have to connect every single diffuser to this duct. Flex duct. And if you want to make it smaller, okay, or we can make this bigger. We can change the diameter to 14. Yeah, so if we're working with round ducts, it's not that it's easier, it's that all the connections are loaded and we don't have to upload connections to every time we reduce the size of that. Anyway, we have to do this. We have to trace the supply and return diffusers. Here you have an idea of what the supply ductwork is and the return ductwork. There will be intersections here, so you have to be careful. And at some point, there will be a pipe going up. I think here and here we have the pipe going up, and then we have to connect the second floor ducts through these vertical elements. The second thing is we have to insert those indoor units, the split indoor units. Those are connected to heat pumps that are on the roof, And those indoor units, they have a supply diffusers, but they don't have a return diffuser. The return diffuser goes through the plenum and it's not connected here. How can we do that? On level 0, we're on the reflected ceiling. So I'm going to close level 0 and level 1 of the floor plan because I want to work with a ceiling plan. And if there is a indoor split unit here, those green rectangles are indoor split units. We are going to go to the canvas side, and there are two kinds of indoor split units on these families. Okay, so here we have indoor split unit. Okay, I think we have to download this one. And the second one. So if you look at the list, this is the first indoor unit, and this is the second. I think this is what we just need. So open the Revit file, open the downloads, and I'm going to download both. This one. Go. This is, yeah, I think that works just fine. I have inserted one, I don't know where it is, so I'm going to open the 3D view. And yeah, so by default, it's here, it's on the floor. We are looking up because this is a reflected ceiling plan, so we don't see it. The elevation has to be, let's say, 12. And on this one, we have the outlet, and that's the inlet. According to the drawing, the outlet is in this direction. So I'm going to rotate it. Like that. And now that's the outlet. So the outlet has to be connected to the air terminal. So the air terminal is a supply diffuser. I can copy this one because I have the right elevation. Make it closer to this. Those diffusers in the real building, they are long diffusers, but here we only have the square ones. So I'm going to open the flex duct, and I want to connect it here, and we have the reduction. Okay, so this is in the space between the false ceiling and the slab. So the return is going through this. It doesn't have a duct connected to a diffuser. And what's next? Well, the next thing would be the roof. So on the roof plan, what do we have? It's quite simple. We just have air handling units. So you need to find air handling units. This one. Well, I'm going to select the 12 square. We're going to select that on level 3. I think it's the roof. And that's the air handling unit. Okay, so we have to connect all the supply and return diffusers to this air handling unit. If we look at the section, because there's a section. Oh, here we have this section. Here we see the air handling unit on the roof and how the horizontal ducts are connected to this air handling unit. You see that the connections goes directly down. We don't have this family on the Revit file. So we're going to turn this upside down. So we can do that from the south elevation. And if we turn this unit upside down. We rotate 180 degrees. And now I'm going to move it up. The elevation is, let's make it 6. Yep, I want to move it slightly up from the floor. Now with the, this is the return, we can go directly down. I'm going to edit the type, and I'm going to make all these inlets and outlets, let's say 30 inches. And now, yeah, everything looks better. So for the return diffuser, we have to draw a duct. If we want to go down, we have to change the elevation. So the middle elevation is 1. Let's change it to -10. And that goes directly downwards. And if this is the supply, so I'm going to draw duct. I cannot go directly down. So I'm going to go this way, and now -10. Okay, interesting. I can do that, so probably have to go farther. And now draw duct, change the elevation to -10. Okay, so that works. So that's it. In the real world, both the supply and the return are underneath the unit, but in this family, I don't have this possibility. So that works. This option works. So the shorter this duct, the better. And now you have to connect all the supply diffusers to the supply outlet and all the return diffusers to the return inlet. If you want to go round ducts, it's better that we use the default round, and the default round here. There you go. But be careful, because this is a supply air and this is a return air. So if this is a supply air duct, it has to be connected here. There was a video in which I showed you how to deal with colors, and I think if we're doing this, having colors, it's useful. Let's do it here. In families, you have to go to duct systems, this one, not ducts or flex ducts, duct systems. So if you come here and if you open the return air, right click, type properties, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to select a solid color and pattern solid. Okay, now apply. And now we see that the return is red. And then if you go to the supply, the same thing, type properties, override graphic, solid, and blue color. So that's a lot easier, because everything that it's supply, it's blue, and then you can't make any mistakes, because you can't connect a blue thing to a red thing. So what about this part of the building? The west wing and the central part of the building, they are the same. You have to trace the supply diffusers, the return diffusers, and you have to connect them to another air handling unit. So there will be another air handling unit here, close to this part of the building, and all these ducts here. I think this is clear. All these ducts are connected to this air handling unit. All these ducts are connected to the other handling unit. But here, it was different. Okay, so what is the difference? First, we don't have this air handling unit upside down. So this was a traditional air handling unit. That's what we are going to insert here. Underneath this roof, we have the mechanical room of the building. So I'm going to insert mechanical equipment and the air handling unit. And it was much smaller than the other ones. So I'm going to place it here. Oh, that's the out. Yeah, so it's the other way around. Like this, because the outlet, the supply, was in that direction. I'm going to change all the inlets and outlets to 30. That will make the connections easier. And now we have to connect the supply to all the units that we have in different rooms. Okay, so on level 0, here we have different office spaces. And the office space, they have an indoor unit, but it's slightly different than the other one. And what is the indoor unit? It is the one I downloaded here. Okay, so I'm going to drag this. And that's the indoor air conditioning unit. So this is attached to the false ceiling. So I'm going to place it where? We're on level 0. Okay, I'm going to place it there. And let's see where it is. Well, this is not the right. Okay, it's attached to something. So this attachment is it's attached to a wall. So that's why we have this orientation. And we don't want that. And apparently on this window, on this mechanical equipment, we can't attach this to the floor. Is it because there isn't any floor? Let me see. I'm going to work with the section box. So, yep, there is a floor. Why can't we attach this to the floor? Look at this. I can attach it only to a wall, not to a floor. If we are on the ceiling, okay, so now it works. So in every single office space, we have one of these. So if we look at the 3D view now, yep, this is the right position. And these, they have an inlet. That's it here. Okay. So I think I'm going to rotate that in this position. And there's an inlet, so I'm going to throw that. And there you go. This is the supply. So at some point, if you remember, we had this supply duct from the air handling unit. It supplies, so it's blue. But immediately we had different branches. Okay, so we had to Yeah, so when we connect something rectangular to something round, we have this weird connection. So I'm going to start using round dots immediately, like this. And now I hope the connection will be much better. That looks better. Okay, so if you remember, there was a branch, and every time we have a branch, we have a reduction here. So if this is 30, we can reduce this to 20. And then we can start connecting different elements to this main supply branch. You were there, you took pictures. So every office space needs one of these indoor units, and there should be like a supply duct from the air handling unit to these units there. What's next? The only thing that's left is the heat pump. So if we go to mechanical equipment, we have heat pumps. And you know that each unit should be connected to this heat pump. So we have a heat pump here. We have this indoor unit. You have to connect this unit to that heat pump. And here there was a heat pump in this place. So again, we should be connecting these heat pumps to these different indoor units. In the reality, we had a variable refrigerant volume device here. So there was only a huge heat pump here connected to that. And then, okay, we can try to insert something like that. But if you don't want to wait and you want to start working, let's insert all these heat pumps. By the way, they are on level 3. With no elevation. Okay, so all of them should be on the roof and connected to this yeah, so here we have two ducts, these two. Okay, so either one is the inlet and the other one is the outlet of the refrigerant fluid. And then you have to connect this to the inlet and outlet of the refrigerant fluid for the heat pump. Okay, so that's it. This part of the building, we have the air handling unit. We turn it upside down. We have supply and return diffusers. This part of the building, we have a different air handling unit. We have the supply here. The supply is connected to each element here, and the indoor units are connected to this. We don't have any boiler, we don't have any chiller, so we don't have any connection here in this air handling unit.